Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's presentation. I'm excited to have you here. Today, we'll be exploring the topic titled 5 Signs She's Pretending to Love You, with a special focus on sign number 3. We'll go over some important clues that might help you understand her true feelings. So let's get started and dive into these signs to better understand what's really going on. Have you ever experienced that quiet, uneasy feeling in your gut that tells you something isn't quite right? Even when everything around you seems perfect, that little voice or sensation can be surprisingly persistent. That's not just paranoia or overthinking. What you're feeling is your intuition at work. It's that instinctive sense that guides us, often without us realizing it. The challenge, though, is that most men tend to ignore or dismiss these feelings. They might tell themselves it's nothing, or they might be afraid of sounding overly cautious. But understanding and trusting that inner voice can be crucial, especially when it comes to making better decisions and avoiding potential pitfalls. This slide highlights an important theme in our overall discussion. Recognizing that inner voice and learning to listen to it can make a real difference in our lives. So here's something really important to understand. Many men tend to confuse fantasy with reality. They see what they want to see, often mistaking superficial attention for genuine affection. It's a common trap, believing that a woman's actions mean she truly cares when, in fact, she might just be pretending. And this is where your intuition becomes so crucial. When a woman is pretending to love you, your gut instincts are actually sending quiet alarms, little signals that something isn't quite right. The problem is, if you ignore these subtle cues, these alarms don't go away. They start to get louder over time. So paying attention to those quiet signals, those gut feelings, can really save you from falling deeper into a false illusion. It's all about recognizing the difference between real connection and superficial attention, and trusting your intuition when it tells you something off. This awareness is a vital part of understanding healthy relationships and avoiding emotional pitfalls. So on this slide, I want to talk about 5 signs she might be pretending to love you. These signs can be subtle, but understanding them is key to trusting your intuition. The idea is that sometimes people put on a front, and it's not always easy to see through it. But your gut feeling can be a powerful tool here. First, look for inconsistency, things like her words not matching her actions. If she says she cares but doesn't follow through, that's a red flag. Second, pay attention to her emotional availability. Is she often distant or detached, even when she's physically present? That's another sign. Third, observe her body language. Does her nonverbal communication seem genuine, or does she seem tense or guarded? Fourth, notice her responses to your needs. Does she seem genuinely interested in your well-being, or is she only involved when it benefits her? And lastly, watch for her overall enthusiasm. Is she genuinely excited to be with you, or does her interest seem superficial? By tuning into these signs, you can better gauge her true feelings. Remember, your intuition is often based on subconscious cues, so trusting those feelings can help you see through any act she might be putting on. This connects to our overall theme of understanding genuine love versus superficial affection. When a woman truly loves you, her energy tends to feel calm, grounding, and consistent. That's a key sign of genuine affection. But if she doesn't, your body often knows it before your mind does. You might feel uneasy after being with her. Something about her tone, her timing, or her emotional distance can make your stomach tighten. It's important to recognize the difference between fantasy and intuition here. Fantasy can make you feel comfortable, almost like a false sense of reassurance, whispering, "She loves you, don't overthink it." But intuition is different. It's that inner voice that says, "Something's not right, look closer." When that internal discomfort keeps showing up, don't ignore it or silence it. That feeling is your subconscious trying to tell you the truth between her words. It's a vital signal to pay attention to, especially when your body and gut are sending clear messages. Trusting that instinct can save you from missing red flags and help you understand what's really going on beneath the surface. So on this slide, I want to talk about how her love really depends on what you give her. True love at its core is about a mutual energy exchange, a give and take that's genuine and balanced. But often, what we see is pretend love, which is more transactional. When she only loves you when you're buying things, fixing things, or proving something to her, that's not real connection. That's simply convenience. She's in love with the benefits you provide, not necessarily with who you are. And you might notice that her affection can fade quickly when you stop giving or when you stop chasing her. Her mood can shift because she's more interested in the validation you give her than in a true, unconditional connection. Remember, real love doesn't demand constant validation or manipulation. It's about authentic giving and receiving, not about controlling or proving your worth through constant effort. This understanding is key to building genuine relationships, and it ties into the overall theme of recognizing what love truly is versus what it appears to be on the surface. At night, my intuition tends to get louder and more insistent. During the day, I might be able to convince myself that everything's okay, but when the lights go out, that inner voice doesn't let up. It's that relentless throbbing in my chest, that feeling that something's just not right. When I sense that a woman's affection isn't genuine, my inner world becomes restless and uneasy. I find myself replaying conversations over and over. I pick up on the gaps, those moments where what she says doesn't quite match what she means. It's like my mind is trying to connect the dots, even if I don't want to face the truth. And then there are those whispers. No matter how many times I tell myself, I'm overthinking, something inside keeps nudging me, whispering, wake up. That's not insecurity talking, that's awareness trying to guide me. What's important to realize is that our intuition gets louder when we're avoiding a truth that needs our attention. It's a signal that there's something we need to address, something we can't ignore anymore. So, listening to that inner voice is crucial, because it's often trying to protect us from bigger issues we might be overlooking. So here's the thing, many of us keep pushing for clarity in our relationships, but often what we get is just more confusion. On this slide, we see the contrast between real love and fake love. When love is genuine, clarity naturally follows. You feel more understanding, more transparency. But when love is fake, what you get instead is emotional fog, that haziness that makes everything unclear. This fog shows up when, deep down, you sense that she's not being authentic, but you're afraid to admit it. Maybe you're holding on to hope or a fantasy, so you can't get that clear intuitive hit that experts talk about. You're still attached to what you want the relationship to be, rather than what it actually is. And the key point here is that, until you let go of that attachment, until you stop clinging to your ideal version, you can't see the truth clearly. Clarity only comes when you're willing to accept reality, even if it's different from what you hoped for. That's how you move from confusion to understanding, from emotional fog to transparent feeling. So, here's something really important to remember. The universe is constantly sending us signs, but often, we tend to ignore them or dismiss them as coincidence. That's why it's crucial to listen to our intuition, our inner voice that knows what's truly right for us. When we start paying attention to that gut feeling, life tends to give us confirmation in the form of synchronicities, those small, meaningful coincidences that seem to point us in the right direction. But here's the catch: if we resist these signs or ignore our intuition, doors begin to close. We might notice that she becomes more distant, and we keep facing the same struggles or painful lessons over and over again. It's like the universe is nudging us, trying to guide us, but we keep resisting what we already know deep down. And that's where real courage comes in. The moment we decide to stop chasing illusions or false fantasies and instead follow our gut, our inner truth, that's when we find real freedom. It's about trusting ourselves enough to take that leap, even when it's uncomfortable, because that's when true liberation begins. So always remember, listening to your intuition and acting on it is the key to aligning with your authentic path and discovering genuine freedom. Final thought, I want to leave you with this important idea: intuition isn't there to hurt you. It's actually there to protect you. When something doesn't feel right in love, don't try to explain it away or dismiss that feeling. Sometimes, our minds want to rationalize, but our gut knows the truth. Don't let her words or actions silence what your instincts are already telling you. Because when she's pretending to love you, the truth doesn't whisper softly, it echoes loudly. And that echo, that's your inner voice trying to alert you. The moment you really listen to that voice, everything begins to make sense. You start to see the reality beneath the facade. So, trust that feeling. It's a powerful tool to help you navigate love and relationships more wisely.